All right, you heard it here on Scripps News. The Crown Prince of Bahrain met with President Trump at the White House today. They spoke about many topics, including investments and the economy. Scripps News White House correspondent Haley Bull live for us now at the White House. And Haley, the president started the meeting talking about Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. What did he have to say?
Yeah, Holly, that is exactly right. And President Trump doubling down that he does not plan to fire Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, but indicated he has thought about it and isn't ruling it out. Now, the president, who has frequently criticized Powell for not cutting interest rates, said while he is not planning on firing him, he did talk about it with Republicans during a meeting at the White House this week. Those lawmakers left that meeting thinking the firing could happen today. A source familiar with the meeting confirmed to our colleague Nathaniel Reed. Now, the president said that they are concerned, pointing to his criticisms of renovations at the Federal Reserve building, and indicated he thinks it's possible fraud was involved without providing any evidence to back that up. Listen.
I think he does a terrible job. He's costing us a lot of money, and we fight through it. It's almost, the country's become so successful that it doesn't have a big impact, but it does hurt people wanting to get a mortgage. People want to buy a house. He's a terrible Fed chair. Fortunately, we get to make a change in the next, 8 months or so, and we'll pick somebody that's good, and we'll pick somebody. I just want a fair job. We want to see lower interest rates. Our country deserves it.
And of course, Powell was appointed by President Trump during his first administration.
Haley, President Trump also scheduled to host a dinner with the Prime Minister of Qatar. We're also hearing to expect about investments from Bahrain, quite substantial investments. So what can you tell us about the rest of that meeting?
Yeah, Holly, big picture here. The president is having key meetings with Middle Eastern leaders today. Happening right now is his meeting with the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Bahrain, in which we are told he is looking to talk about artificial investments, in particular, about their artificial intelligence in particular, as well as trade. And a White House official confirming that in those announcements, a $17 billion expected investment package announced by Bahrain on aviation and technology includes an agreement between Gulf Air and Boeing, supporting 30,000 American jobs with Oracle as well as Cisco to replace Chinese servers. And just before this meeting, the United States and Bahrain signing a memorandum of understanding on nuclear cooperation. Secretary of State Marco Rubio calling it a first step towards civil cooperation. This is just part of a handful of meetings the leaders are having in the U.S. They met earlier this week with the United States Trade Representative as well. But as you mentioned, later today, the president holding a dinner with the leader of Qatar, who has been a key mediator alongside the United States and Egypt in the efforts to broker a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Now, President Trump has recently expressed confidence in being able to reach a deal there, saying that they are, quote, very close. But the Qataris this week noted that they are still conducting the first phase of negotiations, which are essentially indirect talks to try to reach a principle in agreement for actual negotiations, Holly.
All right, Scripps News White House correspondent Haley Bull live for us at the White House. Thank you for that update.